same thing which are accessible from navigator. This is called springboard. Okay, this is a sort of a landed page where all these screens and functions are accessible. Suppose under my group we could see journey, new person, person management, absence. Under navigator, if we go to my client group, here also we can see the same screens and same pages. Okay. So going forward, this entire black region is called a global region. Okay, under this global region, you can put across your, each organization will put across their own branding here. This is the navigator, this is the global search button. If you navigate to certain pages, suppose I go to the person management page and again need to go back to the home screen, then this is called a home screen. Okay, the person who has been logged in and if he is receiving some intimation, that we used to call as a notifications. Okay, so once the notifications are coming to this particular user, all those notifications will be listed here. Currently we don't have any notifications. Once we work on the approvals, we will see that notifications are getting triggered, and the person who are performing the transactions and the person who is supposed to approve those transactions. So once we log in with the user who is supposed to be the approver, we can see there has been a notification listed there. Hope this is clear till now. Okay. Something which is important that I want you to have a hands-on, that after navigate logging into the application, you should need to go to the my client group. Under my client group, there is something called person management. Under person management, there is a provision to search for the person. Person is something like whether he's an employee for your organization, he's a contractor for your organization, he is a vendor for the organization, he is a contact to any of your organization. Everything is being considered as a person. So this is the person management search screen. You can come here and put it across the person numbers and search. Once you search, the person related to the person number which you have put it across will be visible into this search result section, and there are multiple provisions that can bring us to the drill down mail detail page. This person name is coming as a hyperlink. If we click on this particular link, it will take us to that particular person. So once we log in, search for the person and go to the person results, you can see the first screen that we landed is the employment screen. Any one of you is from the EBS background, you can correlate this with the assignment screen. Okay, there is something called enter and maintain. You search the person, then there is a person screen, and under that there is a button at the bottom, that is a assignment button. Once we click on that assignment, it will take us to the assignment screen. Similarly here, once we search for the person number, it will directly take us and bring us to the assignment screen. Okay, till now all the details about that particular person, what is the job associated with that person, what is the position associated, at which grade the person has been associated with, in which department the person is working, whether the person is a full-time employee or regular employee, what are the working hours for this particular employee, everything will be listed at the assignment level. Okay, something is very important here, these notepad sort of symbol, this will be a tasks as per your applicable roles. The person who has logged in, various tasks that you could perform, that will be listed here. Okay, out of these tasks, once today you log into the system, by tomorrow or by evening you will be getting your respective accesses. Okay, so you should need to search for the my client group. Under my client group, there is something called person management. You should need to go to person management and search for these particular person. Under person, one screen is the employment. Another screen that I would like you to go through and have an access is person screen. Person screen is the screen which is having a personal details about the employee, like his name, his national identifier details, his biological details. Okay, his contact details, like what sort of phone number it has, its email addresses, its mail, marital status, all these screens are available. What are its immediate contact details, that is a second tab, it's available. What sort of documents it is having. Okay, like citizenship, passport, driving license, visa. Why I'm demonstrating and letting you to get familiar with this screen? Because as a technical consultant, you will be bringing all these data into your reports, okay, and once those reports are being created, you are supposed to perform the unit testing. So while performing the unit testing, you should not be relying on the functional consultant to uh, prepare the data for you, or if data is readily available, at least certain data aspects you can change and test. Okay, so hope till now it's clear, like how you are supposed to navigate, how to you will be getting your respective instance access. You will be having your username password. After logging in, navigator, under navigator, my client group, under my client group, there is something called person management. Under person management, you can search by passing the person number. Under searching the person number, you will be landing to the employment screen. And what I would like that from the right hand side, there is a task. Under task, you are supposed to go to the person screen, and under person screen, you could explore these screens. Okay, in order to add certain aspects, like suppose you could see that the user is having just the first name and last name, no middle name. There is a section called edit available across each section. You can click on that edit. I will be explaining what do you mean by update mode and correction. Till now, please restrict yourself to what we are demonstrating and helping you to have a understanding by performing a practical demonstration. So I request you everyone to use search, and under search come to a person screen, and if you would like to manipulate the data, come to an edit section and use only a correction mode. Okay, under correction mode, suppose I want to add a title as doctor, I want a middle name as test. Okay. Click OK. Mother's name is mandatory. Once you do the edit of data, you are supposed to save it. After save, there is something called submit. This is also one of the important aspect. Please understand what do you mean by save and submit. Save is something that will be saved at a temporary level. It has not been committed and reflected into your database. Hence, the transactions that you have performed and just saved, you will not be able to see that data into your backend tables. That will not be fetched and available into your reports until unless you will submit the transactions. So being as a technical consultant, techno-functional consultants, when you are working with the implementation projects with your customer, you should need to educate them what is the difference between save and submit, because while performing the transactions, they might be able to just save the transactions while they were not quite familiar that after saving the transactions, they are supposed to submit as well. Now, if I go to person screens, I can see whatever the changes that we have performed are being saved here. Okay. Till now, hope everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In addition to that, as I have explained that you can add the name and address. In addition to that, as I have explained that there is a section called edit available across different sections. This is something called related to person phones. If I come here, there are multiple sections. I want to edit a phone details. Okay. So once I click on the phone details, something across the application wherever the transactions are supposed to be captured, multiple transactions if allowed, okay, multiple data can be captured. There you could see that there is a table section, and on top of that particular section, there is something called plus, which is to add the data. Okay, as employee can have multiple phone numbers. This is his work phone number, and I would like to add his home phone number as well. Okay, under home phone number, you can see certain things are marked as star. Star means that these are the fields which are mandatory. Okay, you could see certain aspects as well in certain screens. Certain things are coming like fields are from date and to date. The reason behind that is like this particular phone number belongs to a person number 10, but this particular phone number belongs to this particular person 10 from a period starting from maybe 1st of August. Okay, prior to this particular start date, there is no phone number called home type which is having a value 34567 8 associated with this particular phone number. So in enterprise application, there are certain attributes, certain screens or certain transactions which are date tracked. If I could ask you that, okay, before August 2023, what are the phone numbers available and associated with the person 10? You can see to this particular screen and tell that, okay, before August 2023, there is only one phone number attached, which is of a type worker type. Okay, and that phone number has also been associated to this particular person number 10 from 25th 11 2022. Hope this clarifies. This explanation is very much important to understand. Any questions, any doubts, please ask me. Fine. In addition to that, if you could see in certain screens what has happened, multiple transactions can be created and stored, because a person could have multiple email address, person could have multiple addresses, person could have multiple national identifiers as well, a person could have multiple status like citizenships as well, right? I could have a citizenship from India, I could have a citizenship from Australia as well. Okay, so all those data which could be in a think over as a real term perspective, the data which could be a multiple uh, identities and multiple existence, those are allowed into a multiple ways to enter and multiple data can be captured. Okay, like in a supply chain or module, what we can have, suppose we will search for a customer can have an orders. Okay, but the person can have a multiple orders, or if we go into the order screen, a person could have a multiple items which he has purchased into an order, right? So this sort of association is called a single to many sort of association. A person could have phone numbers. It might be that he did not have any phone number, or it might be that he could have a multiple phone numbers. Okay. And one more aspect you could see here, out of 10 phone numbers that are associated with the employee, there is a certain flag which is called primary, which is the primary phone number. Okay. Like nowadays we are having a dual SIM phones. Okay. So you might be carrying a multiple phones into your phone, but one is your primary phone number that you will be circulating everywhere. That is your initial phone number, right? So that's how you can manage this flag. But out of all those data which you are going to capture, only one record could be a primary. The moment you will select a different phone number as a primary, the other one will be automatically discarded. Okay. Once you perform and add the transactional data, you can click OK and save it. This data is reflected into this particular section. Similar way, we can edit email address. Email address as well we can add. We can have an email. We can add something called, okay. And this email address also we are saying it is being started from 1st of August. So by looking into the screen itself, you can see wherever this green tick mark is coming, that reflects that this is the primary phone number and primary email address. Okay. Till now, we have not saved the transactions. We have just worked on that particular section, and that's how the data is being reflected. But if we will cancel this transaction and come back, this data will not be coming up. Okay. That's the reason to commit that thing. We are supposed to submit the transaction. Okay. Once you submit the transaction, that particular screen will be closed. Again, you need to access. You can come to a navigator and click on the person. And you can see this data we have edited and now it's being available. Okay. Hope this is clear now. Right?
Yes.
In addition to that, once you come and access this person screen and navigate through, just try to add certain different aspects. try to add one more national identifier, try to uh, add certain sections of documents. Suppose the person is having multiple citizenships or something, try to add. Okay, disability details, contact details. Suppose currently I have added spouse as my contact, which is a primary date. Okay, you can come here, create, under create, huge set of data it is asking, but certain things which are mandatory that are supposed to be filled across. I want to put my child data. This is not my primary contact. I want this child data to be available from 1st of August. I want to test child. These are the only mandatory things. Okay. Click OK. Click submit. Clear so far? So now let's go to a home page. And since we are targeting to start with our SQL as well as the PIP, what I'm suggesting and demonstrating, like once we landed here, based on your roles and access, you can come to a navigator. Under navigator, you can scroll down something where we have tools. Under tools, you can see reports and analytics. This will take us to the PIP backend server. Once we click on this row, reports and analytics, we are getting this screen reports and analytics. Under that, something called browse catalog that we are supposed to click across. Okay, so this, once you click on browse catalog, it will take you the home of, it will come and land you to this screen. Okay, clear so far? So one way to access and come to this transactional business intelligence where you are supposed to build your reports is to navigate and click on report and analytics. After report and analytics, you are supposed to click on browse catalog. It will take to the BIP server. Under BIP server, as in the application we have a global banner, same way we have a global banner here which is displayed in a green blue color. Okay, one is a home, then catalog, favorite, all these things we will be discussing. Till now you must be familiar that okay, this is the home screen where we are supposed to create and build our reports. Okay, another way that I would like you to like how to access, like once you are getting your application access, you will be getting this particular thing as your pod URL. Okay, this is your pod URL. In addition to that particular pod URL, you can just append this word analytics, ANALYTICS. Okay, it is not required that always you are supposed to navigate and all. Being a technical consultant, sometime you can just type this out or just create a copy of this particular URL and append this word analytics and click enter. It will take you to the same navigation. Okay. In this as well, one of the main key areas is a catalog. Just to understand what this catalog means, it is the actual repository where all the reports that Oracle has provided or has been built by you as a technical consultant, it is a repository of that particular report in a structured way. Okay. So once we click into a catalog, we will be landing into this particular screen where in left hand side we can see all the reports which has been created by us has been kept. Okay, so far it is clear. Now what I'm trying to explain is under this particular catalog we have two sort of folders. One is a my folder, one is a shared folder. By the name you can correlate. My folder is something that is related to and very restricted for this particular user with whom you have logged into. Okay, my folder is something related to my personal folder. Anything that you have created or kept into this particular folder is restricted to you only to access. No one else can access those particular reports, folders, analytics. Okay, and the things which has been placed into a shared folder, under share folder, if you could see, since this is a development instance, multiple people has created multiple folders, but under share folder, there are certain seeded folders available. Okay, those seeded folders are specific to uh, the modules. Like financial is one of the module. All Oracle has provided and built these reports and kept into the financial module, has been kept into a financial. Similar way, there is something called as human capital management. Reports that are related to the human capital management has been kept into this particular folder. All these reports which has been placed under share folder with the module names, okay, like financials, like human capital management. All these reports are directly available report built by Oracle and provided to you us for a direct consumption. Okay, so till now you are familiar, like once you log in, you are supposed to go to catalog. Under catalog there is something called folders. My folder and share folder, you understand the difference. Upon my folder is restricted, whatever you will be creating, that is restricted to you. Share folder, that it will be shared across by any user who is having an access of BI server, they could be able to navigate and access. Okay, now this particular section, as you have worked with the Word or Excel, you could see a banner of control panels and all. Similar way, these are the options available. Like under folder, if you want to create certain more folders, you can click on this, and there is certain option called create folder. I am creating this as a test folder.
I have one question, Piyush.
Yes, yes,
So when you say the shared folder, right?
yes.
Is it like a custom folder or is the Oracle
No,
seeded folder?
this is the Oracle provided folder. Okay.
Okay,
Under
okay,
this Oracle provided folder, what Oracle has did, Oracle has created the folders specific to the modules that we have. Okay.
okay.
Under that particular module, they have kept all the seeded reports provided by Oracle. Like financial is one is the module. It has kept sub modules under that. Under sub modules, it has created a hierarchy of the reports that it has placed for. Okay. In addition to that, what Oracle has did, Oracle has provided you one folder called custom.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is a folder called custom. This is also a folder created by Oracle and provided by Oracle only. Okay, so what Oracle suggested, that apart from whatever the seated reports which has Oracle has provided and delivered to you, okay, in case you are supposed to build some custom reports, under custom create your hierarchy. Okay, so suppose you are creating a financial report. Under financial, you are creating a GL report. Okay, under GL, this is a custom report. So what Oracle has suggested, like in financial, suppose the hierarchy is under financial, there is something called bill management. Under bill management, there has been reports related to the bill management module. Okay, so what Oracle has suggested, if you are trying to create a custom report, under custom create a folder called bill management. Under bill management, you can create your custom reports that are specific for bill management module. Okay, so it's up to the individuals as per your naming convention, as per the nomenclature that your organization follows, but the custom reports has to be placed under the custom folder.
So
Okay.
would the developers get the access to create these folders? Like
Yes, that is what I'm demonstrating now.
okay, in the
Just now
custom.
under my folder I have created this, right? Test folder. How we have created? Under this there is something option called folder. We have created this folder, right?
Right. No, what I'm saying is in that Oracle provides seeded folders. In the custom is the Oracle provider, right? So
Yes,
in the
in that you can create.
okay, okay, okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Now to talk about these particular things. Okay. Yes, Ganesh, you have any questions?
Yes. In the custom folder, so we can create any reports related to any kind of module, right? Like financial,
Yes,
like.
yes. There is no
Okay.
restriction. It is up to the users. That is what I'm saying. As per your organization nomenclature structure, the way you want to structure your reports, you can create the folders and place it across. Okay.
No.
Yes, please. Anyone else have any questions, or we can proceed further?
Yeah, Piyush, I have a question.
Yes.
The course which you are conducting, the technical, it is related to all across all the modules, or is it specific to one separate module?
No, this is a complete fusion technical course. Okay,
Oh,
so all the tools and technology which are required for data insertion, data extraction, approvals and all that are across module, different tools has been utilized. Okay, so we will
oh,
be covering a complete fusion technical course.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, okay, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, so let's proceed further. So as you have seen that I have created this particular folder. Okay, now once I click on this particular folder, you can see this cross icon is available. This is just to delete, this is just to copy. Once I click a copy, automatically a paste is coming. I can click on a paste and I can paste this. Okay, since this is my main folder, I have created a copy and I have pasted 2 times, so this has came twice. Okay, so now if we are supposed to delete this, we can delete this. Okay, hope you can see like this particular bar is going to list down wherever you are standing. Suppose we go inside, see this location has been appended with the latest address where we are standing. Okay, if we go inside, it will come into this particular section. Okay, now under this particular button is there that will move up to your folder hierarchy. Since we are at a certain level like practice sample, over that there is TrioTech training. So if we move up, we can move up. Okay, we can move up like this. Clear? Okay. This is something like we want to, as in our like folder hierarchy in Windows, we could see the data into a different aspects. This is the view that is a descriptive. Okay, this is the view that we could have a detail section. This is the view that we could change it to a list view, and this is the view that we can into a descriptive section. Clear so far? And here you could see there are being multiple sort of components. Some are like folders which are identified with this blue color folder. Something is called data model. Data model will come as with this square. Okay, this is the report which will come as a notepad. Okay, so here you could see that what sort under this particular folder, which sort of components you want to list. You want to list all, or you want to list different components. Like if I select a data model, only data model will be listed here. See, under this, if I click now, only data model will be listed. Okay. If I select all, go up and come down. Since this particular thing does not have anything, hence it is not listing. Okay. Here, if I click and select, and this is to sort the components, we can sort from A to Z, Z to A. Okay, last modify. If you could see who's the owner, who has created this, who has last modified, all these details are coming. Based on that, we can sort this data. Okay, suppose I want to sort it by name Z to A. Now this data has been sorted Z to A, and this is A to Z. Clear so far?
Yes.
Okay, so apart from that, you could see certain aspects and detailings are coming here as well. So same way as you can select this and click copy and paste, similar way we have a copy and paste here. Similar way, if you have selected this, we have an option from here, click to new. We can delete here as well, copy here as well, paste here as well, and rename here as well. Clear? These are the basic things that I'm explaining to you so that it will be clearly understood, and by going today you can have a hands-on to have these navigations and all. Okay, so you can name this as a test new folder new. Okay, similar way, if you have selected this, you can click on this particular rename thing and you can create. Okay, so there has been multiple abilities to do these changes. Like at the top, there is a bar where you have a command button. in the more section, you have these options to click on delete, copy, paste, rename. Okay. In addition to that, in the left hand side, you have a delete, copy, paste, rename. Okay. Similar to that, you have a option like if you want to extract this folder. Okay, this is your one test instance. You want to build your reports. Once you build the reports, you want to do the testing. After testing is done, you get the approval and you need to move these components to your production. How you are supposed to do? What Oracle has given you something called, you select those particular components, either individual data model, you can select and do archive, or reports, or complete set into a folder. So suppose this is our folder, we can archive this particular folder. What does archive means? Whatever the component it has, it will zip it and download. So it will ask whether you want to keep the permissions and timestamp as is. So as per your requirement, you can keep it like keep permissions and keep timestamp. If not, you can click OK, and this particular folder is readily available and download. See, this particular folder is being downloaded. Clear? One thing to note about, once you do the archive, the folder which has been downloaded, it will come with an extension called catalog. Okay. So that's
Uh,
how whatever.
Piyush, I have a doubt.
Yes.
What does keep permissions and keep timestamps do? I mean,
Yes.
what is the significance?
Yes. So what has happened? Sometime you have created this particular uh, folder. You can see this is the timestamp. It has been created here, right? So
Yeah.
you want that once you move this folder as is from here to a prod instance, there the creation time and everything should be related to what is being here. Okay. Or if you do not keep that checkbox ticked, when you import that folder there, automatically at that timestamp, that timestamp will be appended. Okay. Similar way permissions is, once you create a report, you want to add certain permissions that this particular report should be accessible for users having this particular role, or to be accessible for these two users only. Okay, group
Oh,
admin or HR admin. So do you want that permissions to be also exported and send it across to your pod, or you want a report only to be extracted? Okay,
okay, okay, got it. Thanks.
so as you can see that we have extracted it. Now I'm demonstrating how to unarchive this. So once we click on expand, okay, we have a folder called test new folder. We click on expand. There is nothing is there, but we have to import our reports and components in this particular folder. So we have something called unarchive. Once we click on unarchive, we can select where it is. It is there. Okay. This is not of any use. We can keep it as only replace. Okay, this is something called, if there is already this folder existing, do you want to replace, or do you need to force replace, or do certain transaction? That's the reason. So we will keep it as none and click OK. Okay, so you can see under this particular folder initially nothing was there, but once now we have our unarchived, it has came across, right? Clear now? If we click a copy and then we will click a, yes, please. Any questions?
Yes, yeah. Instead of we doing that archive and unarchive, we can do the copy paste also, right? It will be work. We can
No,
copy the.
copy paste will not work. You, if you copy here, okay, and you open your browser somewhere else and open a different instance, it will not be allowed to paste there. It is within this particular thing. See, what I have told you in demo, that this you can access same screen, multiple tabs and multiple browsers. You can log in. Suppose I have login here as well. I have login here as well. And suppose here I have copied this particular folder. Okay. And if I go to a different browser, different tab, and in this particular tab, if I'm trying to paste, it will not allow. because that copy and paste is being handled only at the caching mechanism of that particular tab. See, if I came here, see the paste option is not added, enabled. Clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So now one more feature, like if you have built something that is still in progress or for security reason or anything, if you want to hide that particular folder, you can come here and under properties, you can hide. This is something that I am teaching you is very basic related to everyone can correlate to your managing your folder and component in your Windows. Okay. Once you click OK, this particular folder is hidden. Okay, only this is visible, copy is not visible. Now here is something called show hidden items. You can click and this hidden is also visible. You can now delete this if you want. Okay, till now everything is clear. You understood the folders, you understood the share folders, you understood these particular tasks, you understood how to create a new folder, what is the purpose of my folder, shared folder, different seeded reports will be available into a particular module name. Okay, we can always create a multiple folders. There is no restriction that we cannot create a folder under share folder. You have seen multiple folders has been created. As a best practice is what I have suggested, all the custom reports to be built and placed under the custom folder. Clear so far everything? Okay. Now, if you could see this thing, one is called user view, the first option that I'm demonstrating, and the other thing is admin view. If you are an administrator, you have that particular role of an admin as well. You will getting an option to select from two views. If you have option and access only to a user view, you will be listed and getting this screen access only as a user view. The difference is if you click on an admin view, you can see something, a structure will change into catalog root or something. Okay, it is something the admin is supposed to play around something. Instead of a shared folder, there could be a system folders that admin should need to perform some activities. Okay, but this is not advisable, and as a SaaS based product, these settings are not required or no one plays around on these settings because everything is being handled and managed by Oracle himself. Okay, now again switching back to a user view, you can click and switch to the user view. Clear so far? Okay, now let's proceed. As I was telling that although it will be good if you have a functional understanding, but as I assured that I'll give you the basic understanding of the small building up blocks that you how to navigate, how to access, how to create, delete. Okay, all these basic prerequisites are now with you. In addition to that, now you understand how to search for a person, how to edit a person name, add a phone number, what is the difference between a primary and non-primary details, what is the difference between save and submit a transactions, how to search for the person, how to go to the person details, how to add a person contact details, how to add a what were that person authenticity, okay, person document of records like license, education details and all. So that will help you to navigate and get familiar with the system, and slowly and steadily you will build up a competency of understanding the business process flows and all. Okay, about the transactions. Going ahead, as we said that this is a main technical training where we will be conducting a BI publisher, and in BI publisher one of the key aspect is a SQL. Okay, I'm not covering this introduction and all because everyone who has attended my sessions earlier, they are familiar with me. Okay, and rules are something that I want you to focus upon. I want you to interact with each other, interact and raise your questions. Okay, participate and do practice the assignments and whatever the business scenarios that you can think of. Okay, once we provide the instance, we want you to follow through the videos, the assignments, the training materials that we will be sharing, and the samples that we will be sharing. Okay. So considering, as I said, that I will be covering and touching a SQL part as well. So SQL by name, it is a structured query language. Structured query language means a language has a certain protocols. Like English is a language, it has its own set of protocols. It has its own rules what is a subject, what is a verb, what is a sentence making. Okay, similar way, this is a query language. Query language means how to query. Okay, what you are supposed to query, you are supposed to query a data. Okay, so it has a structure, it has a protocol, it has a rules and regulation or a syntax. That's the name has came across, that it's a structured query language. By going through this particular slide, you can see that SQL is required to do the sorting of data, manipulation of data. Manipulation is data manipulation. Like you can delete the data, you can create the data, you can append the data, you can update the data. Okay, all sort of data manipulation. In addition to that, once data is readily available at certain database, you can retrieve the data. Okay, that is the main purpose of the SQL. Okay, so SQL has a multiple commands. Those commands has been defined into a multiple set of languages. One is a data definition, data query, manipulation, control, and TCL. Okay, anybody who's from a database background or EBS background, they might be familiar with all these data definition and query languages. Okay, but here, as I have already kept it this particular thing in bold, our focus is area is only the query language. Reason being is that uh, like since this is a SaaS based application, all these things are not allowed. We cannot create a new definition, we cannot do a data manipulation by writing an update statement or delete statement, we cannot control the data by committing the things. Okay, so only thing that is allowed in SAS is the query language, that is having a select statement. Okay, so going ahead with the select statement, select statement has this particular syntax. Select and from are the keywords. Any queries? Okay, so select has a syntax. Select and from are the keywords. Select is something, select what do you want to select. You want to select multiple columns. Like in Excel as well, you have worked upon, there is a table like rows, columns, and data attributes. Okay, so that's how in that particular table, suppose there is a table, in that table you want to bring certain columns, so you can name those columns. In that column, from which table you want, you can name those tables. Okay, so far it is clear. Okay, so now in addition to that, I have kept these examples which are very much required and being a prerequisite for this particular training. What has happened? Suppose there is a table called imply table. I want to list down all the data from that particular table. Okay, all the rows and all the columns. Suppose this particular table is having 10 columns and 20 rows. I want to extract all the data. So the command will be select star from table. Okay, so star is something which represent to fetch all the column data. Okay, hope this clarifies. Second option is like instead of that particular fetching all the columns, I want all the 20 rows, but I want only two particular columns to be fetched. So you can put it across the column names like comma separated value. I want imply ID and imply name from the imply table. Okay, clear so far?
Yes,
Third,
yes.
third option is like there is an implied table which contains 20 rows, okay, and 10 columns. What I want all 10 columns to be displayed, but only specific for a specific person record. Okay, so there is a new keyword, that is a where, that we are using. Okay, so by looking into these three options, you can understand like if you are supposed to fetch the data, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to use the keyword like select and from and table name. Okay, if you want to fetch all the columns, you can use star. If you want to fetch a specific column, you can use imply id and imply name. If you want to restrict the data, the number of rows, suppose we have 10,000 rows, out of those 10,000 you are supposed to use and fetch only 100 rows, you can restrict using a where clause. Okay, if you want to fetch records specific to one particular person, you can restrict by passing the imply id equals to 101. Okay, similarly, suppose there is something called imply id 1012 2000. This is the imply id. Okay, you want to fetch all the imply records having a imply id greater than 500. So what you will do, instead of this equal to mark, you will put a greater than symbol and put the value 500. So automatically this query will execute and fetch the data where the employee ID is greater than 500. Clear? Okay. Now, fourth option is if you want to restrict certain columns to be displayed and for certain rows only. So we are clubbing this second and third we are clubbing to make it 4. Okay. One another important clause is order by clause that you can utilize. If you want to sort the order, you are fetching the data and you want to sort the data, you can do the sorting of data by order by employee ID. Okay. Similarly, there is one clause called group by that is allowed and helpful to group the data. Suppose you as an employee is having a 4 email address in the system, okay, and I being as an employee is having a 2 email address into the system, and I want to see like a count, like for each person how many email address they have, okay, the count of that particular email address. So that's how we can put it across. We can have count of email address and group by person ID or employee ID. So for each employee ID, what is the count of email addresses it will list. Okay. Okay. That's how we will be proceeding with the join clause as well. Okay. Join you will understand better once I will demonstrate, but just for your reference, what has happened, like here I am using 2 tables. One is the order table and one is the customer table. I want to see all those order details placed by this particular customer. This particular customer might be placing multiple orders. Okay. So I want the customer name, order ID and order date. These 3 columns. If you could see, customer name is coming from the customer table. Instead of keeping and referring customers, which is a big keyword everywhere, what we can use for each table, we can give the alias. Alias called any small name which we can give after our table that can be used and referred as a reference to this particular table as C. Clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. Since we are using a 2 tables, orders table and customer tables. Okay. Both of these 2 tables might be having some columns which are common in both of the tables. Okay. So those key columns which are common across these tables will help us to establish a connection between these 2 tables. Okay. That's the reason what I have did. I joined o.customer ID equals to c.customer ID. So what has happened? Any customer which is having a orders available in the order table. Okay. Any customer who is having a matching customer ID data available in order table, those data only will be fetched. Okay. Anybody is from any prior experience with database and joins like equi-join, non-equi-join, left outer join, outer join. Okay. All those concepts are very restricted and limited in SAS-based environment. So the majorly that joins that you will be using, that is the equi-join only. Okay. One thumb rule that is supposed to be key, remember, like if we have 2 tables, at least one condition is required to join. If we have 3 tables, 2 conditions are minimum required to join. Okay. The number of tables minus 1 should be the minimum conditions required to join across between those tables. Clear? This I have kept multiple operators that are available here. In addition to that, I have provided one link for the SQL functions. While practicing the SQL, we will be using all these things. Okay. This is the small slide that I have that I have kept to list down all the major tables related to the screen that we have demonstrated. Once you start practicing updating the data, you can correlate running the queries and see that that data is being reflected under these particular tables. Okay. National identifier, person name, person address, person phones, passport details, and all these will be available. Okay. So to come back to our this particular thing, so today so far we have just being a prerequisites. Okay. The hands-on we will be starting by tomorrow. Okay. So just to give you the brief of the hands-on. So now going forward, what we are supposed to do, as I have demonstrated all these options and all, one of the key options that we will be starting, that is a data model. You can see under create, all these options are coming to create, and one of the key option is a data model. And from here as well, we can create a data model. Okay. Based on the roles and the access that you have, all these options will be visible to you. Okay. And suppose we are supposed to create a data model, we could come here and click in data model, and it, wherever we are standing currently, since we are standing on up to this particular path, data model will be created in this particular option. One of the sample for data model is this one. Once we click on this particular create, it will land us to this particular screen. Okay. Under this screen, this emp is not there. Okay. What we are supposed to do, we are supposed to create a emp at our own. Let me copy the query. This I am demonstrating. Suppose this data model is there. Okay, you can create the data model, you can add it. If already a data model is there, you can click on create and add it. Okay, you can go to data and click on view to see the data. This is the tree view and this is the table view. Okay, if you want to delete this data model, you can delete it. If you want to create another data set that is of an SQL type, you can click it. This is, we can name it as a XXX and place our query. Clear? You can see the difference, and here you can see a maximum 200 rows. If we click on 10 and click view, okay, in the second data model we can add the where condition. As I have demonstrated, the option that I want to restrict the data, I want to restrict based on the person number 10. Okay, so it will restrict based on the person number 10. See, although I have selected 10 rows to display, the second data set XXX, since it has been restricted to fetch only the person data, that is 10. Hence, no data is coming other than 10. Okay, so far? Fine. So we will wrap up this session. Okay. And tomorrow, same time, we will be joining back, and then we will be starting our hands-on practical journey with BIP. We will be targeting tomorrow to cover all the data aspects and data model aspects. I have kept all these samples ready for you. Okay. And we will be discussing all these different techniques to build data models with different ways of data sets. Okay. And now, like, request everyone to contact and touch base with Kumar. Okay, because we have planned two free sessions that we have already covered. Last time we have did a complete demonstration of the tools. Okay, and training that we are going to cover with this particular training, and this is our second free session. Okay, going forward, request you everyone to get enrolled so that you will be getting your accesses. Okay, that will help you to follow along with me and perform all those sort of practices. Okay, that will give you the instance access, the repository of these particular videos that you can go and refer to on daily basis. That will give you the course material, that will give you the PPTs as well as the samples that we have created for you. So request each one of you to get yourself enrolled by today, so that by tomorrow a different Zoom invite will be shared only with those particular candidates who have enrolled. Any questions, please do
Yeah,
ask.
I have a question here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, so I would like to clarify one, course detail. So, are you covering
Rather
your
your
exam?
voice is rather your voice is not coming properly.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, is it clear now?
Yes, very much
Okay,
clear. Tell me.
right, yeah. So in this course, are you covering the REST API, SOAP, JSON, all that, or that is not covered?
Yes, REST APIs, I will be covering what is SOAP, how to use SOAP, what are the frequent uh, critical soaps that that has been provided by Oracle to access BIP report or payroll flows and all that we will be covering. And
Okay,
REST also for to fetch the imply record and all, there has been seated things which are available that we will be covering. We will make you familiar with those concepts and tools.
Sir, I
okay.
have a question.
Yes, Alok.
So, sir, in this case, you have shown a few records, but what happens is like, say that I'm from HR, so I know few details of HR records. But if I have to create finance related reports and say that the client is showing that this is the page and
See,
from this.
anybody from the EBS background, anybody,
Mhm.
any one of you is from the EBS background?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I'll tell in EBS background, if these sort of OAF pages and all, okay, you can go to about this page and see the attached queries, or in EBS forms, you can go to about and check for that particular query, associated data queries and all. Okay, those things are not available here. Over a period of time, only you will be understanding. There is no year diagram created by Oracle and published, but there is a table repository. Okay, and the names are quite familiar, and more of the names are like structured, like if you are supposed to check for the uh, PO invoice data, if you are creating a PO invoice, then there is a repository, cloud based repository. You can go, there is a, you can select the module as financial. Under that you can select AR or PA or OM as order management. Under that you could see list down tables will be listed, and tables has been listed into something similar to the EBS. In addition to that, more self-explanatory. So it will be a cloud page opening up that will list down what this table is all about, what column it has, what are the associated views, what are the associated different functions or drill down of those particular reports. So through that only you can need to figure it out.
Okay, so will that I will get that kind of knowledge?
Yes,
Uh,
I'll walk you through with that particular URLs. Okay, how to search for that particular table repository. Okay, but
okay.
by end of the day, when you are performing the transactions, once you are gathering the requirement, okay, then
Mhm.
you will be researching as well, right? Before like you have got the requirement, okay, this functional requirement, then you are supposed to build the technical design document as well, right? So at that time you will be going to refer these documents, identify the column, identify the mapping, and prepare your technical design documents and all. So all that research work, every time every consultant is supposed to be done only for 5 6 7 basic tables. Otherwise, because every time there will be a different requirements and all, right? So
Sir, I have another question as well, if you don't
yes,
mind.
yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so sir, previously I was from the PeopleSoft background, and my job was to do the security, uh, to look for the security. So what
Okay.
happens is like it was very easy for me to find the uh, page name, find the rows permission list, and all those stuff. But how will I be able to do the same stuff and do things in Oracle here as well? Will I get that kind of knowledge?
Anishka, I will be sharing that details tomorrow. I'll demonstrate that repository and search. So Ashok, what I was telling from the UI perspective, we will not be able to identify that. Okay, if we are sending on one particular screen, that this particular screen has a backend table like this, or this particular field has been stored into this particular column or something. Okay, but over a period of experience while performing the transactions, and there are certain Oracle provided tables like F&D tables, F&D columns. Suppose you are checking for middle name, you don't know where the